What's going on, guys? Kulprit here, and today I want to talk to you about a topic. Once again, as I've told you, I'm kind of back in the saddle of Battlefield 4. I want to talk about a topic I've been noticing about myself, an affliction I suffer from, and that is the hero syndrome. And I'm going to get into that in just a minute. First, I just want to apologize. There's no game audio here. Usually I provide that. Something went weird with my DX story. I updated it. Somehow it lost my audio track. I have all my tracks set up so it just catches everything usually. Obviously, the new layoff. I guess don't have all the frills worked out in the new PC. So I apologize for that. Not something I'm happy about. But I did like this gameplay for what I want to talk about. I felt I had some pretty good examples of it in here, so I went ahead and used it anyway. I hope you understand. So let's talk about the topic at hand today. That is what I call the hero syndrome. And we all, I think, suffer from this, especially, medium average gamers like myself here. We basically want to be the hero, or at the least we want to help our team. We just really, really want to help our team, and we're willing to make sacrifices to do that. And I think sometimes we don't quite realize that we're actually setting ourselves back, and it's hurting our game overall. So basically, for me, how this happens typically is, I'll start strong. I'll start a match. I'll start 10-1, 10-2, something like that. And that's pretty much because I have a plan, and all I want to do is execute. I know my breakouts. I know what maps I want. Here we have domination, be it chain link, be it conquest, whatever, a rush, which MCOM I'm going for, these things. I know exactly what I want to take right out of the start, and I go and do it, and all I have to do is execute, and I can usually do that pretty well. I then kind of get into mid-game, and I make a bad decision or two. Typically, it'll be like a fast respawn on a teammate or on an objective that's being overrun, just a dumb decision, and it gets me out of rhythm, or to steal another poker term, gets me on tilt, and I just can't kind of get back in the rhythm, and I'll take that 10-2, and quickly it's 10-8, 11-9, 12-7, something like that, and then you start to get frustrated, like, man, this was going, maybe this is kind of more YouTube-centric, but man, I had a really good gameplay going there. I've kind of ruined it here. Don't totally lose this. I can edit it and, make a lesson here, and then, the pressure mounts a little bit, but what does that have to do with the hero syndrome? And for me particularly, and you'll see in this gameplay here, I've left it in right here is, coming up is a pretty good idea. I make bad spawns, and I've been doing that quite a lot as I've kind of been playing again. I sit there and maybe I lose a 1v1 gunfight against 3 or 4 bad guys. A 1v1 gunfight against 3 or 4 bad guys. That doesn't make much sense. I lose a 1v1, and in my respawn screen or my death screen, I see that there's 3 or 4 guys coming to, say, objective B. I can see on my respawn screen there's no real teammates around, so I make that quick, hasty spawn onto B, trying to hold it, or at least hold it until teammates can get there. This happens a lot in domination with those really fast timers, and what typically ends up happening, maybe I take 1 or 2 with me, but I go down again, and I die again, and they get the objective, and they roll on. And basically, all I've really done there is basically doubled my death timer. I didn't really hold that. I didn't really stop them taking it. I just died again. And so a lot of times what I'd be better off doing is just saying, okay, you know what? They're getting B. They've got 3 or 4 guys there. We have no blues there. There's no sense in me spawning there. I'm going to roll on, get something closer to A or C, take that to, to balance out their capture, and just move on with my game. And a lot of times that would not get me out of my rhythm. It would not get me on tilt a little bit, and I'd be much better in the long term to kind of play on that way. Another place that really gets me, and this is just something I don't know that I'll ever be able to fix, is I loathe to see my teammates die. In that you're in your death screen, you're in the respawn screen, and you're watching the guy in that little mini camera, and you're seeing him, and you're like, oh, maybe you can see on your map that he's got a guy coming from the right flank or behind him, but he's not aware of it, and you think, I can spawn in and spin and get this guy. It's magnified when it's a real life friend of yours. You're squatted up with some buddies. Oh man, I want to help him out. Do that quick respawn on him, even though it's kind of a death warrant. I gotta go down with my friends, right? And that's fine. I'm not gonna condemn anybody for that, but just you have to understand that it's going to hold your game back, and it's going to be one of those hurdles. It's going to be something that's holding you back from becoming a better player. You have to get the discipline and to just say, hold on, no, I'm not taking that spawn. I'll respawn in a better place, so that if he shoots his way out of it, great. If he dies, then he can just spawn on me, and we're going to go on a 2-man or a 3-man, what have you, and move on to the next objective. These are things, it all comes down to discipline and not clicking that respawn button. Like I said, you're usually then just doubling your death timer, or you're adding your death timer on a teammate's who's basically already signed his death when he's about to die, and you spawn in on him, you die with him. The problem is if you only pull this off about 10% of the time, those are the times you remember. Those are the times that are epic. They feel great, and you and your friends might talk about it in TeamSpeak. And so that's what sticks with you. It's not the frustrations of all the other ones. They just kind of wash away in the wayside. You remember those epic moments where you spawned in, maybe your spawn protection soaked up some bullets, the 2 you turned, and you saved B flag because you killed 7 guys or what have you. Those are what you remember. Those are the glory. Those are those quote unquote battlefield moments that you strive and look for. And that's kind of not a good thing overall. You know, you forget the fact that you tried 6, 7, 8 times and failed and set yourself back, and you're looking for that feel again. So you kind of have more discipline. That's what it comes down to. You know, so a couple of rules that I use to kind of help me combat this lack of discipline and kind of bad aim, like I've been telling you guys about, and lack of awareness, is I play support, and I play a lot more, you know, passive. I play a lot more conservative, more defensive, if you will. That anchor role, again, I've mentioned you in a video previously, and, you know, the weaponry does that. I find, you know, LMGs especially, you want to play a little more off distance, behind cover, set up those kill alleys and things. It just be a pest, really. You know, I focus on spotting people. I focus on suppressing fire. I focus on, you know, the airbursts, take out snipers and things. Whatever it may be, everything but shooting and killing people. That doesn't mean I don't do that, but I don't plan to bring my value to my team through my gun in that sense. I want to do it in so many other, you know, intangibles, if you will, and I enjoy doing that. I've been having a lot of fun. I've been focused on that a lot lately, just switching it up. I find that when I play Assault, I play very seriously, and I also find that, you know, I try to do super well with Assault because that's my primary kit, and I have great expectations for myself when I use that. So when I switch to support, or even like a aggressive recon with a, you know, carbine or something, I do differently, and I lower my standards, and I tend to have more fun. I also take the revive paddles out of my hands by not using, you know, Assault, obviously, because I find a lot of my bad decisions are both, you know, kind of revolve around respawning, bad respawns, and trying to get that revive. You know, I hate to watch my friends die, and I hate to see them laying on the ground dead. I want to be the hero. I want to pick them up, and that gets me into a lot of trouble, as I'm sure that goes for a lot of you guys as well. So basically, I do these things to try to avoid the problem, but if I can't do that and I still, you know, have the problem, a lot of times I'll just arbitrarily, I will force myself to count to 20 before I respawn. Now, some modes that doesn't really matter because the death timer is a lot longer. I typically play Chain Link now, Domination, even some TDM. I will literally sit here and, you know, I would literally, in the, you know, the start of a session, I will count to 20, chill out, I will watch my death screen, and I will almost, you know, like ban myself from spawning in the same general area. A lot of times with Domination, I will just take a random spawn. A lot of times you can gain a nice advantage from that. Random equals surprise for the enemy. They, you know, they typically won't know that you're coming then if you get a good random spawn. Sometimes you get a bad random spawn and you'll be screwed. But, you know, I just try to kind of avoid the whole issue in that way. And sometimes when I'm in game, one of the things I do is I don't allow myself to be the first one to move in on an objective. I will sit there, and I think you'll see it in this gameplay somewhere, maybe on B flag if I remember correctly, where I'm sitting there and I clearly could run up on B, but you'll see me kind of holding in the river, and I wait until a blue or two pass me, and then I move in. And that's just, again, it's one of those arbitrary rules that I find kind of holds me back and, you know, curbs some of my aggressiveness that gets me in trouble, especially when my game isn't exactly where I want it to be. You know, there's a last kind of thing that I fall victim to, and a lot of you guys do. I'm an action junkie. I love the action. I love the gunfights. And if you just died in a certain area, you know there's baddies there. You know there's a fight going on there. So KD be damned. I don't care. I want to get back in there. I want to get back in there and get some action. You know, I understand that. We're playing a game. We're playing for fun. And if that's what you enjoy, go for it. You know, like that's, don't lose sight of that. But I just understand, like I said, as long as you recognize that this is a big hole in your game, and in my game particularly, and it's one of the things that's probably holding you back is this lack of discipline. That's fine as long as you recognize that and you don't kind of sit here befuddled as why my KD might not be what I want it to be, or why I'm, you know, not, you know, at the top of the leader, or perhaps. Well, this is one of those places that might be holding you back, and you need to recognize that and play a little bit more disciplined. You don't just want to always be thinking about being the hero, is what I'm basically getting at. Don't try to be saving that objective. Don't say, I don't care about my KD, because that's so, you know, in vogue these days. Everybody's like, PTFO, roar, you know. I don't care about my KD, so I'll spawn on this B flag, and I'll keep spawning on it, and I'll keep dying on it just to slow down the enemy until my teammates come. Well, what's going to happen is you're probably going to die again. They're going to nooch the flag, and then your teammates can't come. So you're just delaying the inevitable, and that's you taking a lump on the chin, and you should just move on and get another objective. And that's the lesson for today. That's something I'm learning. I'm learning it the hard way. I'm hoping to talk to you guys about it, to get some comments in the comment section, and hoping that you guys don't have to learn the hard way, although I think at this point in the game we all have. Let me know what you guys think. Is this something you guys fall victim to sometimes, and how do you go about combating it with your own game? Thanks so much for listening, guys. I appreciate it. Talk to you soon. Take care.